Oh, we're live. Hello.
Good afternoon, everybody. I hope you are well.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
It's time for Cuppa Tea with Tom and Abz.
It is indeed.
How's everybody doing? Let's have a look. What have we got? We've already got some comments coming in.
Good afternoon, Bethlehem. Helen.
Hello, Molly. Welcome.
Hello, Wayne. John.
We've got some new people on Instagram watching
Hello,
already. So hello.
Good afternoon, Josh.
Betha, John, Prananda, Helen. Hello, Waves. Hello. Hello, Liz, Linda, Mary. Hello.
Liz.
And Molly on Instagram.
Everybody.
Molly,
and Sophie.
I don't think that you've watched this before, but every day we go live at 1 o'clock for a bit of lunchtime chatter. There's usually a bit of a theme going on, and we talk about anything really.
Good evening, good afternoon, Rafi.
Good evening, Rafi.
I hope you are well.
All the way in Kashmir as well. Hello, Dan. Welcome.
Collie's in. Dion. Hello.
Hello, Dion. Hello. How's everybody doing? Oh, that was a lovely,
that was a really
lovely welcome.
Really?
Thank
this
you.
Is impressive.
Yeah. How has everybody's morning been? It is Tuesday, the 2nd of June.
It is.
And it is gloriously sunny again here in the west of Wales. Hello, Fion on Instagram. What have people been up to this morning? That's what I really want to know. What have we been up to? Well, the kitchen smells amazing because of what you've been up to. And Tanu's been up to.
Yes. So I have been working.
Yes.
I've been phoning people and also making a big chocolate brownie.
Yay!
Yeah,
brownies. I love a brownie. I've been doing a lot of reading. And just trying to get my head around what's going on in the world today at the moment.
Yeah. Oh, Helen had an hour and a half chat with my lovely friend, feeling the love, sending the kid. And Bethan, weirdly yesterday, found out our community is a lot closer than we thought. Dion and Lauren and myself all live very close together. Who'd have think it?
Yeah, so
that's very nice.
We mentioned that yesterday on the during the conversation yesterday, just how small the world was, which I even picked out as a bit of a quote as well.
Indeed.
Who
doesn't love a brownie?
I can't wait for the brownies. They smell amazing as well. On Instagram, Fion's been down to the beach.
Oh, lovely.
Love it.
I am seeing a lot more beach photos. It's like, they braved it out into the open.
People allowed out in the wild again. And it's Penny's first time at the beach as well.
Cute.
That's so cool.
Love all the first things.
No, Dion's got all the good luck in the world.
Yeah, a bit pooped on it.
A bit pooped on it. Good luck to you. That's what I say. What about Jim's watching as well. Who would have thought? I think Michelle's out there in the ether as well. Hello, everyone in internet land. I've been doing a lot of interneting this morning and just reading and bits and pieces around.
Yes.
Yesterday the theme kind of evolved to be about Black Lives Matter. Today it's been like a nominated Blackout Tuesday day.
It has.
There's a lot of confusion as to what that actually means on the internet as well. There's people putting black tiles up and then just doing,
which is great.
Hashtag.
It is all about Blackout Tuesday, but also it's about getting yourself, educating yourself,
and learning and things like that. And there's a lot of people saying, instead of posting a black tile, why don't you donate to a charity? If you're in circumstances like mine, I would rather not at the moment, to be really honest. But
that's because of your personal circumstances.
Exactly, yes. I'm in the midst of being made redundant at the moment. When I've got a steady income, I'll change that, and I'll actively change it as well.
Cool.
But yeah, the Blackout Tuesday thing, it got me thinking about, do we go live today?
Ooh.
Because what is it that we're doing that is helping the cause or not helping the cause? Are we distracting from the cause? Should we have not done anything today? And it kind of weighed on my mind. But then I was like, well, no, because we've got people that tune in every single day, where this has become part of the routine and part of like the crutch, for the better word. What to do. Hello, Lottie on Instagram.
Hello.
There's loads of comments going on Facebook at the moment. Let's have a look. People talking about blondies. Can't go wrong with a blondie.
Thing is, good afternoon, Mike.
Hello, Mike.
Well. Oh, John, or they could black out normally by just not posting simpler. Yeah, totally.
But then you lose the awareness, which is it's me you're looking for.
Obviously.
I can see it in your eyes. But if you don't post, you kind of don't raise the voice, you don't raise the audience of what's going on. But then if you're going to post that, I did something wrong. I used the hashtag Black Lives Matter, which meant
Thank you, Danny, saying you're keeping people positive. That means a lot. And I think, having our discussion yesterday, and if we're going to roll into it today, then surely that's not a bad thing.
No, exactly. I've forgotten Icy Cal's name.
Icy Cal, I don't know.
Yes, you do.
Do I?
Yeah. Rafi.
Oh, Shah.
Shah.
Hello, Shah. I didn't
There you
know that
go.
was Shah. Hello.
Sorry, I completely forgot your name. Mind blank.
I did not.
And so hello on Instagram. So Shah's joining us on Instagram. So someone, I just saw a comment. I did wonder if we were going to go live today or not. But I think that it's really important that even if we do or don't talk about it, that life is still happening.
And then we're, raising awareness as well. I think it's really important. I'd love to know Shah's views on it, to be honest.
Yeah, because that's another thing which has crossed my mind, because you get some people on the internet saying reach out to your black friends and to people that are witnessing all of this, and saying like check in on them. And then there's another side of the internet that's saying don't do that. That's really
all white people are ignorant.
Well, we'll get to that. I'm on about the reaching out to your black friends.
Totally. Yeah.
And I found that really difficult because I do have black friends, but it's kind of like, well, am I allowed or not allowed to be talking to them at the moment?
This is where social media's gone a bit nuts, I think.
Yeah,
myself.
and I personally found that quite difficult. It's not about me, but I'd like to talk to them. And I'd like to be able to say,
oh, yeah.
Shall we do that?
Yes,
yeah,
100%.
Right, how do we do this? Right, we're doing something brand new. Let's have a look.
So Shah is one of our friends, and she's asked to come
onto the Instagram
live on Instagram.
Yes. So let's see if we can make this work.
She's a fellow black lady. Hello.
She's got a cup of tea as well.
Yes.
It's Cuppa Tea with Shah.
How are you doing?
Right, there. We're going to need some volume on this now.
I'm so good, thank you. I'm at work. I've got some time, so I thought I'd jump on.
Amazing.
Well, thank you very much. Well, you probably just heard what I was just saying then about what we can do. So you're currently live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, so you know.
Can you see that? So everybody, this is Shah. She's a fantastic lady. Where are you living these days, Shah?
I'm in a place called Swanley, my darling. It's just in Kent.
I know someone else nearby.
Oh, brilliant!
Yeah, well, you've invited yourself onto this feed.
You have.
I have.
So what we can do, so people can see Shah, but Shah can see us, is can we flip this camera around?
Surely.
Right.
You're getting big hellos off people at the moment.
There we go. Right.
If I take that off.
Right. How are we getting on here? So we've never. So Shah, did you hear what I was just saying then about reaching out and about how to talk at times like this? And is that what kind of prompted you to be like, I want to say something?
I joined yesterday briefly, and I thought to myself that I was going to join in then, but I didn't have time. But with something get involved, because I think the only way through this stuff is to have really uncomfortable, open and honest conversations.
Definitely.
Yeah. Completely agree. And like, I can't really remember much of the detail of what we talked about yesterday. That's the thing of doing it live, is I don't necessarily go back and reflect on it. But what do you think, like your upbringing and living in this society? You also came down to West Wales. My blog post that I wrote this morning was about how my exposure to any form of other culture was so limited that I found it really alien to even comprehend that there's this bigger world out there where this happens systemically. I feel very much out of touch with it in that sense. But what would your advice be to those that have been very sheltered and are now properly realizing the impact that it has?
I think the first thing is to be colour brave and not colour blind. Because when this all kicked off around 2013, 2014, I remember a work colleague of mine, at the time I was working for Royal Mail, and the work colleague of mine asked me if, she said, look, I've met so many people, I tend not to see colour anymore. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? And I said, well, to not see colour, when you look at me and you can see that I'm black.
Yeah.
Pretend I'm not black. means that there's actually a problem.
Yeah.
Fair one,
And they're going to write you off.
Yeah, it's all that, ooh, I don't know what to say. Do I call her, what do I call you? I can't say the word black. Like, really?
Yeah.
We're more than happy with that word. Like,
That's
that is
good.
what we are. And it's that whole not seeing colour means that you don't see the issues, And so one of the things that I realised when living in West Wales was that it was amazing because it was one of the only places where I didn't really feel that because everyone was so friendly and so accepting, and I didn't get odd weird looks that I normally get when I go to a place that's dominantly white.
And that's
really friendly.
It's so weird that you should say that, Shah. Like, you didn't feel that black because people were kind. Like, that's nuts.
That whole sentence is fucked up, right?
Yeah, completely. Yeah.
Because normally, if I go, let's say for instance, all right, the first time I went to Newcastle,
Yeah.
I knew it was black.
Right.
Because everyone was black.
That's nuts.
Just stop and stare.
Whereas in Wales, people were just like, oh no, like I just felt like a part of the whole society.
Yeah.
The problem was that any time any kind of conversation like this came up, the body language went in, the uncomfortableness in the air. Nobody would, because they were so scared of being deemed as racist that they just didn't even want to talk about it. And that's the problem. These conversations have to take place because that's the only way you get to move forward.
Oh.
You are in work. If you need to go at any point, you just disappear. We will fully understand. Because with that, the conversation needs to happen, and the body language changes, and we shrink. There's that fear of being labelled a racist by a black person. Whereas, would you be quite forgiving if someone just didn't know that what they were saying was really bad? Because the education that we've had doesn't highlight it. And which is awful. So that kind of forgiveness from ourselves, that I didn't actually mean that in the way intended or the way that it's now being elevated to. If you see someone making a genuine attempt to try and understand the background and the context of everything, that's something that, are you quite happy to talk about that? Is that something that is reflective among lots of the wider black community as well?
I think with something like that, we have to be careful. So for me personally, I am able to accept when people say the wrong words. I've been called coloured many times before, and I understand that a lot of people who grew up in the 60s, that was the politically correct term. So if that person is of a certain age and they use it off the cuff and I can tell when someone needs something or not.
Yeah.
And so I've said to them, look, that's not the term, that's not the correct term. The term is X, Y, and Z. Or I've been labelled half caste before.
Right.
And saying, no, that's not the correct term. The term is a mixed race or mixed heritage. But the one thing about that is not all black people are going to react in the same way.
True.
Because every black person has had their own experience.
Yeah.
And at some point, we all get to our point where we've had enough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Everyone has a threshold.
Exactly. Everyone has a threshold. And to be honest, now in 2020, there's no excuse. There's too much information out there.
Yeah.
Google is your source for everything. There is enough information out there to tell you everything you need to know.
Yeah.
And so the types of conversations that need to be had with black people is white people need to listen to the black people's experience and not tell them whether what they're explaining is right or wrong or not racist.
Mm-hmm.
I've had so many conversations where I've tried to explain that I can't stop a black taxi. And I see white people looking at me like, what do you mean? And I say, if I stand there and I do that, I will not be able to stop a black taxi. And it's because I'm black. And they're like, no, that's not true. That's not true. Like, how can you tell me? You can't tell me it's not true.
That's the reality.
Yeah.
And the only time that it works is if I'm in a suit and I come out of the train station and I go to a taxi rank.
Mm-hmm.
Because now I've got that middle class look, that business look.
Mm-hmm.
I look like I've got some, look like I can pay for my fare.
Yeah.
That's when I can get a taxi. but I can't stand on the street and get a taxi.
And just hail a cab down.
That's
No, it's the
insane.
same if I'm in the shop. If I'm dressed like this when I go into a shop, the security guard is going to watch my room. So I literally walk around like this with my stuff in the show, like
Like
Which is
parading it
awful.
around. And this is the white privilege that people are talking about, is that we never have to think about those things. If I walk into a shop and I'm carrying some things and my phone goes off, I could put something in my pocket and get my phone out and then take the thing back out of my pocket and just carry on with my day. Whereas if that was to happen with someone else, so a black person, that person is being, excuse me, can you come to the office, please? And it's that constant over the shoulder kind of, you can't get away with those little things because they're not looking for it if I do something like that. Whereas it's always being looked for. And if you look through something through binoculars, you're going to find it.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, for instance, if we take so a couple of years back, me, Raph, and the kids went to Cyprus. Yeah.
Yeah.
So before we booked the family holiday, I was like, right, Raph, we need to do some research. And she's like, what do you mean? I said, number one, I need to know how racist the country is, and number two, do they accept gay people? Because we're going as gay mixed race family.
You've got it all going on.
I'm gay, I'm black,
Yeah.
Else.
But I don't have mental health issues. I could put that.
Oh, there you go.
You know, and I'm sure, like, Raph was like, are you serious? And I'm like, yeah, I'm deadly serious. I
And
said,
you
"No,
had
it's
to
like,
think about that, where Rafi didn't.
Rapping didn't, like, for me, do you know how much I want to go to Cornwall? Like, Cornwall is stunning. There's so many beautiful beaches in Cornwall, but when I think of Cornwall, I think of Mama's Day. I don't know if you know about Mama's Day.
I don't know.
So Mama's Day is the day where they all black up. They all black up. And they
Shut
go
up.
down the street singing slave songs and listen.
And that happens today.
I don't know if that has stopped recently, but I know up until 2014, I think was the last time I saw the big documentary on it. It was still going.
Oh my goodness.
And I said, this is where we're white and we're not even thinking about things like that. That's nuts.
I desperately want to go to any beach in Cornwall, but I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. And then that's limiting choice then. It's limiting your freedom to roam this country as an equal anyway, because there's already that oppressive nature that's already there.
Yeah. Wow.
It's crazy. Like, I'd say I've been to quite a few European cities, and the only city where I felt 100% comfortable was Amsterdam.
Really?
They're pretty liberal there, aren't they?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that they're not racist in their own way. Because the thing is, with a lot of Northern Europe countries, they're so forward thinking that they forget their own unconscious biases and prejudices. Like, for instance, do you know about Black Pete?
Black Pete?
No.
Okay, so Black Pete is the Dutch version of Santa Claus, and he's a scary black man that puts all the naughty children in a sack and takes them away at Christmas.
That's crazy.
Most of the general Dutch public are literally like, God. But a couple of years ago, I think even the Prime Minister was talking about, oh, well, you know, I've got a black friend and he's not offended by Black Pete. Like, what's the problem kind of thing? And literally the Dutch public were like,
this isn't right.
Yeah.
It's got to go.
That is awful. Wow.
Yeah. And then, because it's tradition and it's been going for years, you're not even associating Black Pete with everyday black folk.
Right.
Because it's there. Well, this is what we've always done. This is normal. This is just what happens here. And then that becomes normal. And then the psyche doesn't, like, there's no need to change because all of these influential figures are saying, well, no, it's just the way we've always done it. But that doesn't mean that in this day and age that makes it right or any different. It's just like, well, no, you just normalized that we're the ones that take away the naughty kids in a bag and take them away.
There you go.
And it's that, and this is like we're talking about thresholds earlier. This is kind of the threshold that that certainly USA and big factions of the UK have come to, this threshold with George Floyd being murdered, the threshold has now peaked, that all of this is now normal and oppressive, and that like it shouldn't be normal anymore, and that threshold has been reached for whatever reason with this particular murder. And the fact that it was filmed for the full for the full length of time, and it like people are talking with the coronavirus about the new normal and things. It was like, well, there is an opportunity to reshape lots of different things. And it was like, well, why was that normal in the first place? Years and years and years of systemic trading, slave trading. But why are we still living in that structure? We don't need to anymore. And like it's not going to be fixed overnight, but hopefully through educating. And I was talking before you went live about Blackout Tuesday, people posting links to petitions, to books, to resources to try and upskill themselves. It's going to take. I've seen a video of a guy talking to a 16-year-old in I think it was Michigan, saying, "This is on you. This is your generation to help, because what we're doing isn't working." And hopefully, with the information age that we're in, there's just so much more. There is more accessibility, as you said earlier. You can Google anything we want, but we just haven't. So I think that this week of all weeks is a time to really make the most of that.
Definitely. And I think one of the biggest problems with this whole the Black Lives Matter movement is what people hear and what they read when they read Black Lives Matter. A non-Black person will hear my life doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If you're saying Black Lives Matter, it means my life as a white person doesn't matter. And what people are understanding is that sentence is saying Black Lives Matter too. But we shouldn't have to say too.
No.
And all lives are not being targeted by the police. There's only one set of lives right now that's being targeted. Well, it's been going on for ages. That's being targeted by the police. So and this goes for everything. It's like a few years back, I was involved in there's a Million Women's Rise March that happens every year, and it's about raising awareness for gender-based violence. And I remember sort of looking up on the website before I took part in it, and a council person came over to the house and he looked at my laptop and he went, "What's that about?" And I told him, and he said, "What about violence against men?" So automatically he heard, my life doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what happens. People need to ask the question of what they need to do is they need to read something and go, like if they're in that, that place of I don't know what's going on, I'm so far removed from it, they need to read it and go, I wonder why they felt the need to create that. Let me find out.
Yeah.
Let me find out.
Yeah.
Do your homework, because there's too much information out there. Yeah. And let's be very blunt and very clear and very honest. The way we are conditioned to one second. Yeah. We are conditioned to accept truth and an authoritative statement or standpoint is when it is said in a familiar way. So, for instance, if you think about, we always say the word they when we talk about the group of people that we never see, the scientists, the physicists, the neuroscientists, that people talk about life. Nobody sits and thinks that they're a group of black and white men and women.
Mm-hmm.
No one. The automatic vision is a bunch of middle-class white men, middle-aged, middle-class white straight men in white coats with glasses.
Yeah.
And that's what you're going to see. And so black people now are saying, we're tired. We need white people to talk to other white people about this. And we need white people to talk to the racists about this. Because white people will listen to white people.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
yeah.
Men listen to men. The women's rights movement, when women protested and did everything that they could to get their vote accepted, they didn't win men over. They won a group of men over, and that group convinced other men. So the men had to convince men to get women to vote. Yeah. Same with the gay rights movement, the Stonewall with the riots. They convinced a group of straight men, and those straight men had to convince other straight men that gay people should have rights. Yeah. That's the truth.
Yeah. The hard facts.
So you need to use those privileges. I know as a light-skinned black woman I know people are going to listen to me more than they're going to listen to my dark-skinned counterparts. I've seen it. I've experienced it. I've worked in offices where I am treated completely different to my dark-skinned counterparts.
Yeah, and
It happened.
It's
happened.
Yeah.
It's mad.
I haven't been able to see the comments whilst we've been going. Shah, if there's something in the comments that is kind of pertinent to what you're saying, like a question, would you mind just answering it? I don't know if there have been any, because we usually go for half an hour, and we've been going for 25 minutes already. Thank you so much.
I think that people have genuinely, Shah, been utterly interested and intrigued, and their eyes wide open to the reality of a black person living in society. It's put a real stance on it. And thank you so much for sharing, Shah. It's been absolutely amazing.
You didn't have to request the join. Like I was at a loss of what we were going to talk about today, and then it was Icy Cal wants to join the conversation. I was like, I want to have a conversation with Shah.
That was amazing.
And thank you so much. It's been so insightful to
hear genuinely
from you. Like,
yeah,
I'm proper chuffed that well, we've only met each other twice, I think, and you felt confident enough to come on here and talk. Like I'm blown away. Thank you so much. I know that you're working, but yeah, I'll send you a message later on anyway. Once we wrap this up.
Loads of people are saying thank you, Shah.
Yeah. The comments are completely filling up. Thank you.
Amazing.
Right, we'll send you back to work. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Bye.
Absolutely amazing. How great to have a genuine insight into the life of someone who's black.
Wow,
and what it means to them. Just amazing.
Yeah, like we've come up to 27 minutes anyway. There are loads of people that joined on Instagram partway through that I couldn't reach because I was holding the phone. But hello to everybody that joined us on Instagram. Because of course I think a lot of Shah's followers would have seen it as well. So it's real combining. So yeah, thank you everyone in the comments for the showing of support.
Thanks for sharing the love, everybody, as well.
Yeah, and I'll be going back, and I am going to message. We should probably call her later or something, and just to be like, thank you. And
she didn't have to do that.
No, she didn't. I saw a comment from Dan mentioning about going abroad, and I remember the first time when my gay friends wanted to go on holiday and talking about having to check how the homosexuality laws were, and then to hear it from Shah, who was in a mixed race homosexual relationship, it just kind of brought it all back. In that the world isn't safe depending on the color of your skin and your individual identity. Yeah, and I'm so chuffed that Shah took the time.
She's just given us a huge insight into it, hasn't she?
Yeah,
which is really nice, and that's why. Yeah, we're here, and that's why we're talking about it.
Yeah, and to think that if we didn't go live today, none of us would have had that insight.
No. I'm really glad we did, and that's really been an education in itself.
It has, and I've been retweeting loads of things on Twitter at Hello Tom Dyer, of free books that are available, different links, different petitions, different groups, different fundraising pages. So yeah, like. As Shah said, it's up to us to educate ourselves. We need to be genuinely intrigued and interested as a starting point, and then we can start looking
to understand. Yeah. And Shah's just given us a tiny little snippet, which is really good.
Yeah, in the space of 20 minutes, a lot of people have learned so much more than they probably would have been brave. Yeah, I have.
Genuinely, yeah.
That whole thing.
I had no idea. Because I'm white. I didn't think of these things.
Yeah, and to ask those questions, I hope that the questions I asked were helpful for you that may be in a similar situation.
Dion, I have a black dad and a white mum. I've seen racism because their relationship was mixed race.
Yeah.
They've been married for 45 years. That's fantastic, Dion.
And I know that Corey will appreciate this. Love does conquer all, but we need to love everyone.
Yeah.
And that... At the moment, the analogy that I've seen in the thing is that, yes, people comparing All Lives Matter and Black Lives Matter, and there's been talk about your house isn't burning, and Black Lives Matter because that's the one that's in need at the moment.
Absolutely. We need to stand behind it, stand with them.
Definitely.
Yeah, make change.
And yeah, a lot of Welsh people saying that it's amazing that Shah felt so welcome.
It really is. Wayne is just saying that she felt safe and welcomed in Wales. Yeah, same here, Wayne. Proud to be Welsh. Absolutely. Proud to be Welsh,
definitely. Can I ask questions? Just playing
devil's advocate. Do you think discussing the topic brings awareness to racism as well as being equal? Yeah, definitely, because it opens your mind to where racism is at and what can be changed to make sure that it becomes equal.
Yeah.
To make sure that Black people don't have to think about going to Cornwall. Like, when would we ever think about that?
Yeah.
But Shah was really aware of it because she's Black.
Yeah.
And it's that learning and understanding racism from the Black people's point of view, so that we can learn to understand it to create an equal society.
But I think what's going to happen is there is going to be a pushback from genuinely scared racist people. There is like, what are you doing talking up for these people? You shouldn't be talking about them. And there will come a divide where talking about it and raising awareness is actually going to get the rod up people's backs. And
it is.
Yeah, and it
is. In America right now, it is. And
yeah.
That's why there's rioting. And that's why, unfortunately, white police using their power and authority are pushing back. And I just hope that we can all, people who want to make positive changes so that, Black lives do matter, that change will happen.
Yeah. And sadly, it is going to peak where there's going to be that absolute equal fighting force between people that are trying to raise awareness and overcome it and those that are trying to keep it exactly where it is. And you've got to look at the government not releasing the paper on coronavirus on the Black Asian minorities as well. It's ridiculous. It's something that directly affects the people protesting at the moment, and they're not sharing information that highlights that they are more at risk of dying of coronavirus, and yet they're happy to leave them convene in these protests, which I think is brilliant. There was a socially distant protest in Cardiff, but by withholding that information and not showing the public health risk is ridiculous to people that are protesting in the racism protests at the moment. And on that note, we're gonna leave you to the rest of your days. Thank you so much for listening and being engaged and supporting Shah with telling us a story.
And thank you to Shah so much for sharing this today.
I'm proper chuffed because I was at a loss of what we were going to talk about, and to have Shah jump in.
Well, and you have felt quite uncomfortable about talking about it, about acknowledging it, and what to do to discuss it and work with it. And Shah's just been so helpful in certainly helping me understand. And I'm sure everyone else feels the same as well.
Yeah.
So thank you very much.
Thank you. And on that note,
yes,
we're going to enjoy some brownies. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your day. We'll be back again tomorrow. Try and read up a little bit more about it again and see what's going on in the world.
And if anybody's got any thoughts, points of view, any questions, we know Shah, I can ask her. So please don't be afraid to talk. She's saying, have these uncomfortable conversations, talk about it, let's learn about it, let's make changes. Yeah, and from an ACT perspective, to go around what we normally talk about, embrace those feelings and label them, give them color, give them shape. Try and give them a history and a context. Why am I feeling the way I'm feeling talking about this? Yeah. So that's kind of something to go away and ponder. Why am I feeling the way I'm feeling when I see these images, when I see these links? And really see what you can do in the future going forward. We can be part of that change. We are part of that change. Part of a movement.
Yes.
I liked it when Shah said that.
Yeah. But yes, we will sign off for now. And we will see you tomorrow.
Catch up tomorrow. Thank you
everybody.
for joining us.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.